A is for Alcoholic is a program about recovery. My name is John and I'm an alcoholic.
And my name is Jerry and I'm an alcoholic.
Join us as we go through the alphabet of alcoholism one letter at a time.
I gotta take that real quick hit off the vape while we're counting.
Yes, in our first incarnation of this show, Jerry would vape throughout the episode, and some random anonymous person was like, "What's going on? Is he fucking smoking a crack pipe?" And I'm like,
"That's so much crack in an hour. That's a lot of crack."
I don't know how much is too much crack. Well, I mean,
that's
crack
Judith Grisel levels of crack.
Yes. Welcome to A's for Alcoholic. We are more of
Judith. I didn't mean that.
Judith? What did you say? Judith.
I was just insinuating you should just smoking tons of crack, which she might have been. Anyway.
She might have done some. So
she did enough to write a book.
We're going to talk today about a book that I found pretty fascinating despite all of the it's called Never Enough by Judith Grisel or Grisel. I'm not sure how she pronounces it. But I found it interesting, even despite some of the more technical terms.
Mm-hmm.
Was it dry for you, Jerry, without any ghosts?
Fuck yeah, dude. It was informative, like reading the manual for a new TV. In that I was excited about the manual I was excited about the new TV, but the manual was dry as fuck. Yeah. But it was still informative. Like I got something out of it. And the whole time I was listening to it, I was like, fucking John. And I know you were probably at your house waiting for me to text you, and I never did because I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking tough this bitch out because there's no ghosts, there's no gunfights.
I'm gonna find one.
It was still good though. It was still It was informative in the sense that I was relaying information back to my dad and my sister, and then my brother-in-law and my sister have a book club, right? And they all meet up at a bar for their book club, and their book club involves drinking. Like if you do something wrong, it's like a penalty. Everybody takes a shot or whatever. And, it's like a fun drinking thing. And my sister's like, maybe I'll recommend this book for the book club. And my brother-in-law's like, Danny's like, fuck that, dude. Like, you're going to make the whole room sad, and you're going to make us read like an instruction manual. And I'm like, it literally is like an instruction manual.
Not only that,
it's fascinating though.
It will definitely, I feel like, and we're not going to go through the book, obviously, bit by bit. This is just sort of our review on it. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and yes, it was informative. But I mean, I think things like this, there's the saying, AA will ruin your drinking. So you hear people who quit, go into the program, and then relapse. And the moment that they pick back up, or that when they're drinking the entire time, they're like, this is all fucked because AA ruined my drinking for me.
It's like you opened up the door, walked through it, and saw the good shit, and then you had to leave, but you left the door cracked. So you could see all the good shit.
I feel like if you read this book, it would just maybe give you pause to pick up a drink again. I don't know. I mean,
maybe, because once you figure out what it does to you neurologically, because she doesn't get into the physiological aspect of it, she just gets into what it does, how it affects the hormones in your brain and shit. So you're like, this is fucking my brain up.
Now, she doesn't say it outright, but there are some allusions to AA that I think she's in the program, because there's a few little one day at a time and things like that she makes allusions about higher powers, and there's just a couple of things in there. But
keep coming back, Judith. It works.
But this was something that when I quit smoking, that I really started to think about my brain, and the addiction. And so that's when I started researching how my brain works around cigarette addiction. And that's what helped me quit. For me, it was, and Walter would say this to me. He would go, yeah, man, it's like when I need a cigarette, when the nicotine is like a little worm that is eating a hole in my brain, and the only way to make it stop is to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I was
that sounds
Jesus.
like a Walter thing, though, but that's very clear though.
So
I can really relate as I vape.
It was an epiphany walking out of the resort that I worked at one night late, and I was walking toward my car, toward the parking lot, and I just want a cigarette, and I was trying to quit. And I don't remember if I smoked or not, but I could just see that worm. And I was like, what the fuck is that thing doing? And the thing that occurred to me was that the cigarette doesn't calm my nerves, right? It only calms the anxiety caused by the addiction to the nicotine.
Right.
It has nothing to do with any external, anything outside of that addiction, outside of the things that the nicotine has already done to my body. And I'm not, I mean, I know that you vape, and this is not like toward you or anything, but it was just,
I'm going to keep vaping.
Okay, perfect. That's so that was the beginning of me going, oh, okay, so that's how this thing works. Then I can at least take a step toward fixing it, or at least if I can understand the excruciating craving, then I can work my way through it. So she goes into it. She obviously has earned her place as an addict by her story in the beginning.
It just gives her, yes, because it just gives this all more credence than if it were a neurologist who had never experienced addiction. There's a difference between, I think, experiencing intoxication and addiction. You know, obviously there is, but to be able to write from it as a standpoint of, I have been in hardcore active addiction, and I was very fascinated by what is happening in my brain. The main thing this book taught me was the word homeostasis.
Yes.
Which I never knew what it fucking meant. And I did not pay attention in high school because I'm me.
Fascinating.
And I was, yes. So I told my sister what I learned what homeostasis meant, and she just laughed at me because my sister has degrees in like, you know, in anthropology and forensics and studied osteology and stuff. So she's like, you didn't know what that means? Like, I'm fucking stupid. And I'm like, I'm kind of stupid when it comes to that shit. Like, I don't pick it up. So for me to realize that homeostasis means returning to a level point, which is what we're all doing in active addiction, is pretty fucking fascinating. That's fascinating to realize that at this point, what she's basically saying is, we are no longer using the substance to get high. We are just trying to return to homeostasis, right?
Because for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Right. So every high is going to have a crash.
That's the opposite of what the high is.
That is the exact opposite. So the higher you get, the lower the crash. The more cocaine you do, the worse it feels sitting at the Viking with a glass of Rumpelmints and a Heineken at 10 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah,
or I should say more like 4 p.m. because we didn't go to bed until 11 o'clock.
Dude, I did one dry, like out on the ranch here in Arizona after a wedding, just the driest hangover, no booze in the house, just riding out that cocaine fucking alcohol hangover. It was, dude, I almost walked out in the desert and let the coyotes take me. I was like, fuck this. I'm done with life. My mom's like, are you all right? You seem real heavy. I'm like, I'm so hungover. I just, you know what? Don't even say just let my name die. Like, I'm done. I don't, you know.
I know those ones.
I know it.
Yes. The dry hangover. But this was fascinating to me, right? This idea of homeostasis. And I know those of you listening who know what this is, you're like, you guys didn't figure this out already, but
no, we did not.
we talk about finding balance all the time, but this seems more severe, right? So, and your brain is like, we're going to have to bring you down. Whereas the opposite is also true. In severe moments of pain, your brain will actually create things like, analgesics, right? It'll create pain relievers, or there's like, you know, moments of like shock, or, you know, when somebody goes into, you know, hypothermia, or you cut your arm off, like you won't feel all that pain because it's not in your body's best interest. So it'll shoot the whatever as much
dopamine
pain reliever. Dopamine.
No, dopamine's a reward drug. I know what you mean though. The pain reliever is called an endorphin.
Sleep, but
an endorphin is the pain reliever.
Right. So all those things. So finding that homeostasis, and so you're like, okay, if I go out and I drink a 12-pack of beer and a bottle of whiskey, I'm gonna feel like shit tomorrow because that's just my brain trying to return itself. There's no And I think I said this while I was reading this. I said this to you a week or two ago, something about there's no free lunches. And she brings that up a lot.
Yeah. It's always the check being due and no free lunches. Yeah. I mean, I just finished it yesterday. So it should be fresh, but it is and isn't, because she covers everything. She covers everything, right? And the chapter for alcohol is only like, I don't know why I put my hands up, but it's an hour long. So to me, this is an hour. It's about 18 inches. So she has some interesting thoughts. Not interesting thoughts, but she has, she covers like her covering marijuana was very interesting to me as well. But I like the term she uses for alcohol as a pharmacological sledgehammer.
Yes.
The way alcohol interacts with the brain.
Yes. And I didn't realize this. It's unique in that, as opposed to all the other drugs she talks about, the opiates, the stimulants, all that stuff, in that it affects so many different parts of our brain.
Right. That and marijuana. Yeah. Marijuana and alcohol both affect more than one part of your brain. I kind of have crib notes. You probably have notes too, but she says it affects endorphins and dopamine, and it is a really tiny molecule, so it acts all over the entire brain and all these different pathways.
The way that my favorite metaphor she said here is, alcohol is so small and wily, its actions are hard to pin down.
Yeah.
It's easy to imagine that there are many more places to park a skateboard than an airplane.
Right.
And so like it just goes everywhere. So it's yeah. And I mean, obviously I know that on some level because I've felt its effects.
Right.
I feel like shit, or I feel great in this way. I'm uninhibited. I black out. I feel stronger, more powerful, more aggressive, all these things. But to think of it that way, whereas cocaine goes right to this one little spot.
Right. And it's the limbic system. I don't know if that's correct, but
mesolimbic.
So what also is very interesting is the way that she but explains that different types of personalities are affected by these different types of substances, and that alcohol users tend to have anxiety disorders. That what alcohol does in the beginning is it affects your anxiety, where it alleviates the anxiety, but then with misuse and over time, it amplifies the anxiety. And the same with the hangovers, just wildly amplify the anxiety. And I just thought it was so funny because a lot of the drunks I know have anxiety disorders. They may not be diagnosed with the anxiety disorders, but just by being around them, they are more I can tell, my friends and my people that are close to me that still drink or used to drink, like you included, have some issues with that feeling of anxiety and I think everyone does, but I believe that some alcoholics tend to have it.
So it's funny you say that. I was coming home. I went for a little run yesterday, and I was coming home, and one of my neighbors around the corner was out doing some stuff in his garage, and he's in the same program. Yeah. And so I stopped to talk with him, and we talked a little bit about the last year and all this stuff. And he's like, I'm getting ready for retirement. And he had a couple of inflatable kayaks that him and his wife were going to go take a big old trip and all this stuff. But he was like, yeah, man, it's just anxiety. My anxiety is out through the roof this whole year. And we had a big, long conversation. Yeah. He's like, do you ever feel that way? And I said, and I guess sometimes I like to minimize things. And I said, well, I think everybody's felt a little bit of anxiety. I've never been diagnosed, but yeah. And I definitely do when I think about the constant overthinking and freaking out about stuff that doesn't exist. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's what anxiety is going, oh no, I'm going to die from coronavirus, but that's not abnormal for the last year. But I was thinking these things. I was having constant anxiety when I was drinking all the time.
Yeah. I still have it. They make fun of me for my anxiety. I don't have anxiety attacks anymore, but I definitely am an anxious person. I have a lot of anxiety. I definitely pre-plan for things that aren't happening emotionally, philosophically.
Do you ever
I prepare for the worst constantly.
So I do this on a very minute scale sometimes. Now, again, our experiences are different. I go and I see people in public more than you do, right?
Yeah.
And that's
which is also part of my anxiety, right? That's why I'm not out there.
Right. I guess I have to constantly face it. But sometimes there are things that people, for example, coworkers have said in the past, and just either it's just some shitty remark or something like that. And so I'm oftentimes trying to be ready for the next shitty remark.
Yeah.
Like conflict. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm creating conflict that's not going to exist, that oftentimes doesn't exist, where I'm like, that motherfucker's going to say that thing that he did that one time. What a smug asshole.
Yeah.
What am I going to say? Should I just call him out or should I ignore it? Like, what's the right way to go about it? And so I have this whole conversation about what's better for me, what's good for me, what's healthy. Do I need to fucking put him in his place? Is that really going to be helpful in the middle of a dinner rush?
That's absolutely anxiety, dude. That's like overthinking anxiety, though. This
I
shirt,
do that all the time.
I gotta tell you though, I gotta let the viewers know, I got the cut the shit shirt on, and it's just I'm doing. Sorry, if you want to buy this shirt, tell them where to go.
It's just I'll put it in the show notes. The link is in the show notes.
But here's the thing about this shirt is I'm on Zoom, so everybody on Zoom just tends to look at themselves the whole time, and all I can see is this one strap just getting like. I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like Hans and Franz.
Did you wash it yet?
Yeah, I washed it because it smells like the ink when you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even worry about me. I just was noticing my one strap folded up, and I just felt like I was just like, "Yo, dude, come hither."
There you go.
Yeah, nobody can see that. Don't worry.
You got some Flashdance energy there,
dude. You know. Yeah, what a feeling, dude. I work at I'm a welder at a steel mill. And at night, I like get all wet, roll around.
I believe it. So anxiety.
Never enough. Anxiety and never enough. So I just thought that it was very interesting that the inverse, the alcohol withdrawal, is rooted in anxiety, right? Well, not just rooted in anxiety. Anxiety would be one of the symptoms of it, the massive symptoms of it. There's so much in this thing for a 7-hour listen. How many pages is it? 300 or so?
200 and so
200. So for like a 7-hour listen, it was really rich. There was a lot going on. I mean, she packed a lot of information into this book. I think it was a great book if you're curious about the neurological aspect of addiction. She doesn't touch on the societal aspect too much or the social aspect very much, other than her own story, which I love that she started off with her own story because it made me relate to her immediately.
Right.
I wasn't like, oh, you're just some dry lady that's going to be telling me some dry shit for the next 7 hours. You know, so I really appreciated that. And I also love that she goes into the genetic aspect of addiction at the end too.
Yes. So one thing, so let's talk about genetics and that it is, there are dispositions, but there's no specific gene for addiction, correct? That there are many. We have, I think she says something about we have far less genes than a potato.
Yes.
So
that was funny.
We're less complicated than a potato. And it's like, God damn. But there's the other part of the genetics was the epigenetics.
Yes, right. So this is what I refer to as generational trauma, which I know is not the correct reference. And I think I got it from that show Watchmen on HBO.
Okay.
The term, just to be transparent here.
Yes. No, it's a real term.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Generational trauma.
But that's epigenetics, right?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
So it's just, there's a name for it. I didn't realize there was a scientific name for it. It's just,
so what is it, Johnny? Roll it out for the people out there.
So the way that I understand it is that generational, meaning the way that my parents raised me and the way that their parents raised them and so on and so on and so forth gets passed down in the DNA. It's on top of it. Epa means on top.
Right.
So it's not just I beat my kid, so my kid beats his kid, so his kid beats his kid. I mean, that's learned behavior.
More social. That's more social.
But in those actions, there are things that are passed down in the DNA, which is fascinating to me. It's like that shit gets into you, and so it becomes a part of you, and so I have to make a conscious choice to not do that to somebody else. It doesn't have to just be like my kid, but that's how DNA obviously is passed down, right? So
right. So she's saying that they had found generationally people who had suffered famines, they would find markers in their children's DNA that would show an adaptation to having a lack of food. So then she would say that, you know what I mean? And so, or people who had been through like a really traumatic event, like a war or something, they'd find markers in their DNA that gave them a predisposition to substance abuse, which they would pass down to their children. Do you know what I'm saying? I also love the idea of DNA not being a factor in substance abuse and alcoholism and addiction, as well as how much DNA you share with the addict in your family. Could be, I don't know if it's, absolutely a determinant, but it could be a determinant on
it most certainly
the severity of your condition. Yeah,
sure, absolutely. I mean, and that's basically, and she says this a couple of times, there's no smoking gun, right? And so therefore there's no magic bullet.
Right. There is because it's so many things, dude. It's like multi-layered, right? So I would get in these arguments with this asshole I worked with that I bring up all the time. He's an asshole. And so I'd get these fucking arguments because he would say addiction and alcoholism aren't a disease, it's a choice. And I'd say, no, first of all, it is literally a disease because it's listed in the DSM. So psychologically, it's listed as a substance abuse disorder. So if we're talking, like, if we're being literal here, literally in the DSM it's listed as disease, A. And B, how could you not think it's not a neurological or a disease of the mind, whereas you have 100 people drink and only a portion of them show a proclivity to become an addict? You know what I mean? It's not, the act of drinking in of itself in the beginning is a choice, right?
Yes.
Like I make the choice to have that first drink. And honestly, I make the choice to have that first drink, and then the second drink is really up to the neurological and societal and learned aspect of my brain, right? Because it's nature and nurture. It's weird. It's like one of these things that's like, it reminds you of like what makes a serial killer. Do you know what I'm saying? It's mental disorder, head trauma, family problems, all that shit, right? So what makes an addict? What makes an alcoholic? Is it something you learn from your family? Well, then what are these cases that aren't outliers, where the people grow up in families where there's no addicts or there's no addictive behavior going on around them?
Yeah.
So I to this day, I honestly believe in my heart, I believe it's not only a physiological disease, but it's a mental illness, Yeah, it's a form of mental illness
that requires a lot of diligence.
Come on, man. It's like, oh, I love booze so much that I'm just going to feel like shit 90% of the time. And then 10% of the time, I'm going to have a great fucking time. Do you know what I mean? Like, or just at this point, reaching homeostasis, Yeah. The pocket you and I talk about, I prefer the pocket, which is only this much of your time. And then the rest of your time is pursuing the pocket or dealing with the aftermath and getting in that pocket, Which
is hell, which was so much hell. It was so
it was real shitty. It sucked. But that 10% was fucking a lot of fun.
Awesome. It was a lot of fun.
But it was, I mean, I get on you sometimes about this too, like Coda does. Like, I'm like, it wasn't all hell, but honestly, I'm looking at like that much going, this part wasn't hell, but all this part was really hard, maybe that much was hell. I'm doing a lot of visual shit for this
I would
podcast.
say, well, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah, follow us. You get to see the whole show.
So
you
here's
see the gun show, dude.
Here's the thing I would say about the pocket versus the rest of it, right? Is when we talk about it not being all bad, most of the times, now we were pretty close in our 20s, in our 30s. All of us, we've been close friends for a long time. So we've shared a lot of the bad times, but the majority of the time that we shared was in the pocket, right? It was the good stuff. It was the fun stuff. Those are the shared memories. Now, there was a lot of fucking hangovers. There was a lot of mornings waking up. We lived together in multiple different places and incarnations and all this stuff. So there was a lot of hangovers that were shared. There were a lot of bad things. There were a lot of fights. Drunken fights, right? So I know that most of the time that I was in pain, I kept to myself.
Right. So for your perception of it, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this is, I think, where sometimes I push back on you a little bit, because I'm thinking of my perception of it, and it was hard. It was very hard. And there were aspects of it that were absolutely 100% beyond demoralizing, you know, where I had just lost all my all my dignity as a person. There were moments in my alcoholism where I had no dignity at all as a person. But for me, do you know what I'm saying? Like, my rock bottom was a rocky bottom, and it wasn't any rockier than anybody else's. But for me, it's hard for me personally to say the entire thing was fucking hell. No. Do you know what I mean? Or like, my entire onus was going out to find booze, because my entire onus wasn't going out to find booze. I wanted a buzz. I needed a buzz, but there was no onus to go out and find booze, because it just was found. It just was what I did. So, you know, so for me, I don't classify as I was drinking fucking Sterno on the streets of Skid Row. Right. Do you know? But somebody else was, and they did that for me, you know, for me to learn, so I could see that. So I guess it's just a matter of perception. In our language, we're using what we speak to each other, you know?
I sought out, I created an entire career as a highfalutin.
You absolutely did.
So I could be around
an entire friend group so I could be around it, you know? So I can see where you're coming from, because I've been there. I just, maybe I'm so far removed from it sometimes, because it feels like it's really back behind. When I talk about on this podcast, I talk about this. It's the only time I really talk about it. I mean, right. I can talk to my mom and dad about it, but they know, they've been through it. I could talk to my wife about it, but she lived it with me, you know, in a different way.
Talk about that shit anymore.
Well, no, because it wasn't all trauma to her. That's the thing. She was like, it was hard when it was hard, Jerry, but when you were fun, you were super fun. But you were at the end, you just weren't fun anymore. You just were super sad. But I mean, there are parts she doesn't want to talk about, but the entire thing wasn't the part she didn't want to talk about or think about, you know? So I don't know. I just feel like it's really far in my rearview mirror, but it's close enough that I can still reach back and grab those memories as a cautionary thing, as my seatbelt, my way to stay sober. But I also know that, like, yo, dude, that was like 6 fucking years ago. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's a whole lifetime. So much has changed in my life in 6 years. You know,
6 months.
I got an 11-year-old. Did I say 6 months?
I would know. You said 6. You said 6 years, but I'm saying so much has changed in 6 months.
Yes, absolutely. So for me, looking back on it, that dude is like, that's a rerun. Like, I've already seen that, done that, lived that. And so for me, it's cautionary though. So it's just our perception on it, I guess. Because I still respect your opinion, and I still love where you're coming from, and I still see that you see it as a certain way and I see it as a different way for myself. Because because I wasn't there in your room alone with you, dealing with what you dealt with alone behind your door. Like, I wasn't there, dude. So I don't know.
So I'm going to tell you. Oh, yes, exactly. There was, when I lived on, I think I lived on 65th Street. It was that house where,
Nickerson, or the one by the Rendezvous?
The one where,
the haunted one?
Was it the haunted one? The one where my friend, our
The
friend,
Rivoli.
Rivoli. No, this is in Ballard. The one where our redheaded friend stole and drank the last of my homemade absinthe, and then set the phone book on fire on my
right. Okay, doorstep. That apartment, yeah, with toe cutter, yeah,
with toe cutter, yes,
yeah.
So I remember one weekend, because we would go out and I would drink all week, because I would drink every single night, but then we'd go real fucking hard whenever I could get together with my friends. And
me and Coda, me and Megan would come up. Yeah, let's do this. Me, you, Walter, Coda.
And there was one day where I was just laying in bed and I was just shaking, like for hours. I was shaking, and I was like, I could drink some water, and I don't think there was any booze. And I just remember ordering like $70 worth of Chinese food and laying in bed and watching on my old like MacBook. I was watching that Robert De Niro movie Stardust, where it's like some sci-fi bullshit.
Oh yeah, wow.
It was like 2007.
Yeah, no.
I'm trying to watch this.
I watched that hungover too, though.
Right? I don't know if that was a thing. And I'm like, this is so terrible. Everything about, and I'm trying to eat Chinese food in a styrofoam box in my bed, because I can't get out of bed. And I'm like, this is fucking awful. But it never occurred to me to say I should probably try something else, because go to work the next day, I was like, I'll be fine. I just got to get through this, and then I can drink tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get to watch Stardust again.
So I don't remember anything about that movie except the fucking Hangover. So
and that's like, but that's your hell. That's your moment of pain. Yeah. Mine, yeah. I've had to tell, I mean, I talked about mine earlier, one to walk out in the desert and get eaten by the coyotes because I did a bunch of blow at a wedding, you know? Yeah, dude. I had one of those days in Seattle with Always Sunny in Philadelphia with like a level 10 migraine. And you had showed me that Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where they were trying to figure out who pooped the bed. God, and yes. I went on a run with it, but it was like this like 18-hour migraine I had, just trying not to laugh, but it was hard. It was really hard. So I get it. So and Judith here gets it too.
She said one quote, "The opposite of addiction, I have learned, is not sobriety but choice." And you talk about having a choice, and I didn't feel like I had a choice then.
That's great. See, that's it. It is choice. Yeah. You're right. And that's a great analogy for what you went through, because you did have no choice. And this all loops back again to like this argument I'd have with this person about addiction being a disease, because once I'm in the throes of the action that I'm addicted to, I have no choice anymore. But choice is all out the window. The choice is to turn on the light. You know what I mean? To flip the switch. That's my choice. But my choice is compelled by my addiction. See, it's like a total fucking beep, like a little figure eight. Do you know what I mean? Like it really is. It's like you make the choice to drink, but the reason why you're drinking is because you have no choice but to drink. You can't, you must, right? Like that book, The Outsider, that Stephen King wrote. I don't know if you ever read it.
I didn't read The Outsider.
It deals with this addict in the book, and the addict has the word can't on one hand and must tattooed on the other hand. And he says, because I can't drink, but when I do drink, I must drink, you know? And so I always love that. I was like, the idea of these two, what are those words? Contractions or whatever, but just the idea of you must, what it's just the idea of you have to, like you are emotionally, psychologically, neurologically compelled. Like once, so there's no choice. There's no choice in the hand. You can always choose. You pick up that first drink. I'm like, motherfucker, no, because I'm dealing with the fallout from the last 20. And so I got to pick up this first one to deal with the last 20 until the one day where I decide I got to ride this shit out and hopefully I don't die in withdrawal. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because we did make a choice at one point to stop. And every morning we wake up, we make that choice to not drink again.
And sometimes it's consciously and sometimes it's unconsciously.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll have those days where I'll go through and I won't think about it at all.
At all. Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And I even, those are lovely moments, but I don't
notice it
when I notice it. About it, and I'm like,
at the end of the
wow,
day, and you're like,
great.
I'm grown up. I'm a big boy now. I'm a big boy.
And I feel like those are much better moments, and the moments that I have now in homeostasis and keeping it on an even keel, I find I have better happiness. I have better joy. I'm not like trying. I'm not chasing bliss, because bliss goes straight up, and then it has to come straight down.
Nah, right? Fuck that chasing bliss shit.
And here's one.
I'm chasing homeostasis.
I can do any drug I want as long as I don't really want to do it. And that's the thing, is like, I want to do all the drugs. I don't want to, if I don't really want to do it, because then I'll just want more and more and more and more.
This book is a trip with the drugs, right? With the drugs and such. But, because I can only really relate to the alcohol part, but I can relate to the addiction in every single chapter. I can relate to the obsessive compulsive aspect of it, but like, I didn't fuck with heroin. I fucked with coke minorly, very minor. I didn't fuck with hallucinogenics. I'm still skeptical about hallucinogenics, but I think it's because the people I meet who use hallucinogenics, is that how you say it, or hallucinogens or whatever? People I meet who use those things
tend to the wrong way.
No, they tend to abuse them. In my personal experience, they tend to abuse them and then tell me that they're using it
medicinally,
not medicinally, right? Or therapeutically. But I'm like, therapeutically would mean you'd be using it with someone else who, do you know what I mean? Some type of guide or something. Yeah, not eating a fucking eighth of mushrooms and sitting in your apartment, not smoking DMT out of a light bulb and sitting in your back porch by yourself. Like that's a whole other thing. But to me, if you're mentally stable, using hallucinogens as a form of meditation to me is like just basically trying to fucking hammer in a nail with a sledgehammer. Do you know what I mean? There's no finesse and you're not learning how to meditate. You're just learning how to take the elevator to the top without doing the work.
Right.
But I also know that, you know, people have used MDMA with psychological guidance, you know what I mean? Have used these things and made huge breakthroughs in their depression. So I don't write it off. I just have a difficult time accepting it sometimes because the guy usually telling me, Jerry, you should take mushrooms is fucking eating way too many fucking mushrooms.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm not going to take your word for it. Like me eating an eighth of mushrooms and crying and feeling like I relapsed is not going to help me in my alcoholism, dude. Like it's not. Doing the hard work on myself is going to help.
I sometimes have those little voices that come up and are like, maybe you could have an amazing breakthrough if you just did some ayahuasca.
Right.
I'm like, that's not
right. But then you have dudes like Mishka who do it and it's fine for him. But Mishka's not in my personal life. I've talked to Mishka 5 sentences. And I know it's whatever it is, it's working for him. He's like a real human being. He's like one of the realest people I know in recovery as far as like the way he expresses himself on social media and stuff. So that works for him, right? But it's just, for me, I'm like, listen, I see its merits, but then there's also merits in opiates too. And those can be abused. Those are majorly abused in this country. But there's a merit in opiate if you lose your arm. You know what I mean? Like, please give me some fucking morphine, you know?
And, you know, and then there's the other voice that goes, what if we did all the ayahuasca and never came back, John?
And that's the fucking thing, right? And she even says it in the book, and I know it's an old recovery cliche, but she says, if there's a pill to cure recovery, I would take 2 a day every single fucking day. Like if they told me to take 1, I'd take as many as I could. And I always laugh at that because that's absolutely just the attitude I have with things in my life now that don't get me high. Like these fucking tons of diet Pepsis because they taste good, you know, and drinking like 4 or 5 in a day and then looking back and being like, God damn, you went on a fucking Coke Zero bender, Jerry.
I think as long as you feel like, good and you're healthy, I mean, then fucking do it. If it doesn't.
Exactly.
That's fine.
It's manageable. Right. So if you want to smoke ayahuasca, that's great. But don't sit down and tell me I need to smoke ayahuasca. You don't smoke ayahuasca. Don't sit down and tell me I need to smoke DMT to get my head right, because that's like a vegan fucking tripping on you for doing whatever do you know what I'm saying? And like, I know you're a vegan, but do you know what I'm saying? It's like this commentary on what I should be doing. Like, I'm not telling you what you should be doing. I like that you seesaw vegan.
Well,
you just John, right? You enjoy it.
Well, because
enjoy a good knish.
I enjoy eggs. I still fuck with eggs. I would get the just egg or whatever it is, but it's like $12 for like a half a pint of fucking fake egg, and I'm not interested in spending that money. I did have some cod the other day because the doctor said I need more protein, and I was like, damn, this is really fucking good. So
yeah, protein will help you out a lot. Mostly eggs aren't meat, dude. Eggs are just chicken seeds. You're all right, dude. You just plant an egg in the ground, you get chicken. Don't worry about it, baby.
Right. I wouldn't want to push anything on anybody. And
that's the thing.
When people ask me, when people have reached out to me on social media, which is where we do most of our fucking interactions these days, in the middle of the pandemic, I always offer, I say, well, whatever works for you. I try to preface it with, this is what worked for me.
Right. And we're just talking about what works for us collectively. Yeah.
And some days it doesn't work at all, and I have to fucking grit through it.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, so even I have these days where I'm like, the program's not working. I feel like shit. Well, you know, one option is have a drink. The other one is just bite my tongue, grit my teeth, and just go like, all I got to do is get through the next 8 hours and go to sleep, and then I can forget about this day. But
all you got to do, dude, is cut the shit, dude.
Cut the shit.
Cut the shit, dude. You got
the other side.
You got to do the fucking work, Johnny. Just that's what you tell yourself. I know you say it to yourself every morning. Cut the shit, Johnny. Do the work. I know you want to drink a fucking cask of Amontillado today.
Somebody was asking me, somebody brought up whiskey and something about Old Crow, and I said, man, I remember
I was sponsored by that shit, dude.
When you just started tattooing, and I was like, dude, I want to get the Old Crow logo tattooed on me.
Yeah. What were they asking you about Old Crow? Just did you ever drink it?
Something like that.
I should have owned the fucking company, dude, before I found fucking Jim Beam.
Big plastic jugs.
Oh yeah, dude. I even listened to Old Crow Medicine Show because I had Old Crow in the name.
And
literally
really like them. Did you like them?
Yeah. I mean, I like Wagon Wheel, but everybody like apparently that's a huge like fraternity bra jock song in the South. I didn't know that. I think it's a very pretty song.
Yeah,
I used to sing it to my daughter. I think so.
Originally?
Yeah. But yeah, I fucked with Old Crow. Oh man, I fucked with Old Crow.
But I just can't believe what
I
if
dated
I
Old
get
Crow.
a fucking liquor tattoo? I mean, no offense to anybody who has one, if that's what you're proud of. But
I almost did too, dude. I almost got the John Powers 3 Swallows. And then I almost got a whiskey jug, right? With 3 X's on it. And I was gonna get Problem Solved tattooed around it, right? And then I thought about it again recently and thinking about getting the old hillbilly whiskey jug, but instead of saying problem solve, it just says problem. I still want to kind of do that, you know, that always makes me laugh. But as far as like, yeah, John more than me drank everything. I drank mostly bourbon, but I would drink anything you gave me as long as it wasn't beer.
If you were out of bourbon,
beer is too slow, bro.
If you were out of bourbon, you would be like, okay, well, whatever, let's make this work.
Let's make this
rosé wine,
fucking vodka mixed with rosé,
vodka,
151. I would mix gross shit together just so I could make it happen. Like
there was I saw something on TikTok where they were making Corona sunrises with basically just putting grenadine and like orange juice in a Corona.
Yeah,
like come on, that's kid shit.
Just that's baby shit.
I used to put like pear vodka into cider and drink it like that.
Yeah,
just whatever.
We used to fucking put vodka into fucking those stupid that clear Zima. So you're just mixing malt liquor and vodka because the Zima was like spicy Sprite, and then you put vodka in it, and then you would like pee your pants.
It was the original
fucking doing great, dude. Yeah.
So we talk about, I want to read this and I want to get your thoughts on this. This is from a chapter on opiates called Paying the Piper, but she talks about, as a result, with time, a dose that initially worked well will hardly produce any effect at all. In order to realize the same experience, you have to take more. Of course, if you increase your dose, then the adaptation will be even greater to meet the bigger challenge. This means that you'll have to take more again. Thus, the romance is no longer hot when your lover is present, but when your lover is absent, your body and mind are overcome with suffering, all as a result of the nervous system's profound adaptation. And the part I have highlighted is, naturally, this leads to craving, because anything is better than the excruciating desolation of abstinence.
Yes. In the moment of active addiction. So you want in the moment of active addiction, that is not even an option, right?
Right.
But the idea of it like loops around to the title. It's never enough, right? And that was what her rock bottom was. That was her moment of clarity when her friend looked over and they had a bunch of Coke, and he was like, man, I don't think there's ever enough Coke for both of us. And she was like, fuck, he's right. Do you know what I mean? And it even goes back to that old adage with the NA people where they say, you know, one's too much and 1,000's never enough. I always love that. And so building up not only physical tolerance, but a psychological tolerance, right? You're building up a neurological tolerance. Your physical body's not building up any tolerance at all. Your liver's like, what the fuck are you doing? Your kidneys are like, yo, I'm with your liver. Like, knock that shit off, you know? And your brain is just like, that stupid fucking meat in your head is like, give me more, 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 give me more. We got to get more, you know? There has to be more in here.
Because
this drink
you are
needs to be stronger.
Yeah, you are changing the chemistry of your brain.
So every once in a while, I'll make a virgin michelada, right? Which will just be lime LaCroix with Clamato, and then I'll salt the rim and put lime in it, right? And I'll drink them every once in a while. But the problem is, and I think I've said this before in this podcast, I don't drink one. I drink like 5 really fucking fast. Like I'll drink like 2 of them in an hour.
Clamato.
Exactly. And I wake up all swollen like a fucking sausage because there's this trigger in my brain that clicks and goes, this has booze in it. Get as much as you can into your body, right? Because I would buy like 3 tall boys and drink those in like hour maybe with Clamato, just pour them in a Clamato in a giant mug like this big and fucking pound the thing. It's almost like the salt helped me drink beer because I hated beer so much. But maybe hour and 10 minutes, you know, do three fucking tall boys of Pabst or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because my brain was like, this has lower alcohol content, so you need to get it in there as fast as possible. Do you know what I mean? So it's that adaptation. And it's still there after, you know, 6 years, you know, it's still there. It's still in there.
7 years this year, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. They were drinking micheladas here yesterday because we made a bunch of cocktail de camarón, which is Mexican shrimp cocktail. And the base is Clamato and ketchup, right? That's the base of this shrimp. And they're delicious. Like when you come visit me, you eat shellfish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you come visit me, we'll get you one. You've had Mexican shrimp cocktail though, right? You absolutely have. You've been my friend for years.
Yes, we've done it. We've done it at least
right
once
here.
or
I'm
twice.
talking shit to you. I'll get you a shrimp culiche though, and you won't know what happens. So anyway, get your ass down here. We'll get you some food, make you gain some weight. But they were making them yesterday, and I wasn't craving them or anything. I was just like thinking about that. I was like, maybe I should make myself one because I've got some like lemon LaCroix, and I was like, no man, because you're gonna drink like 4 and wake up all bloated tomorrow and salty because your brain is like, come on, let's go, buddy. So that's why I don't fuck with NA beer either.
Right.
Woo, that adaptation, dude.
Well, I mean, I feel like if I had a predisposition toward this at birth.
Right.
And then you add the epigenetics of, you know, what is it? Generational trauma, if not ancestral, right? Like who the fuck knows how far back it goes? I don't fucking know. How long of a lineage of abuse do I have? I mean, there's no, I mean, I guess I could find out.
You could come from a long line of town drunks, John.
Right, exactly. So it's probably true.
Maybe.
So put that on top of everything I went through as a kid and in high school, and then all of the drinking early on. So from like 16, 17 on, of course, my brain is going to be, I think, permanently changed in my perspective toward alcohol.
Absolutely.
I hear people talk about having a wet brain, which I mean, I think they mean that there's permanent brain damage.
It's brain damage from drinking. Yeah.
I don't know that I have that. I don't think that I do, but how would I know?
I don't know.
I have not been tested. If I
could be fogginess from old age too, though. Dude.
Exactly,
we are becoming men of a certain age, according to Tim Allen.
Right. Was that a Ray Romano TV show?
No, it's Tim Allen, and then they brought in I don't know. I'm not looking it up. But
and Andre Braugher was in that show. It was on TNT.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Men of a certain age, and they're like, man, my prostate, you know.
Yeah, so I mean, I occasionally my back hurts a little bit more, and I forget things once in a while.
We hit our 40s and everything starts falling off. It's all right, dude.
Even the Mona Lisa's falling apart.
It's like I was thinking while you're talking. It's like almost like there's this mixture in my brain of like it's a mutant ability and a souffle, right? Like my mutant ability is that I fucking black out and then do it again over and over again and don't ever stop. But also, like the way you describe it, you're like this perfect alcoholic souffle where you have genetics, and then genetic trauma, and then emotional trauma, you know, and it's really hard to make a souffle, right? You put it in the oven, you got to let it rise, and someone slams the door hard and that motherfucker falls. It just caves in on itself. And so you are like, you and I and all of us probably listening are just the perfect mixture of everything to make us just this perfect
beautiful alcoholic souffle
cake full of fucking Grand Marnier and shit. You know what I mean? Just like,
yeah. Because context is important too. She talks about this in the book, and that we not only does it show up, or does it already pre-exist for some people, myself included, but then we begin to create our reality so that the context is always there for a drink.
Right, dude. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So it's already there, right? Maybe it's an alcoholic father.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, okay. Then I learn where the reinforcement, the quote unquote positive reinforcement, you know, what feels good. And then I go and I seek that out. And then I spend, 13 years tending bar just so that I can have my hands on a bottle of liquor.
Right.
I still have like muscle memory for picking up bottles. I'm sure I could go right back to it if I needed to or wanted to.
Right.
If I found myself, whatever. But so all these things boom, perfect souffle.
Mm-hmm. It don't fall. It does fall eventually.
Eventually, yes. Eventually, it does fall, and then you have to
spectacularly.
You have to go scrub out that ramekin with all the fucking burnt egg on it. You know what I mean?
But it's just that perfect mixture that just raises. It's just every factor in it, and everybody has different. Just like souffles, all different types. We all have different ingredients that make us all rise into the same kind of thing. That's the kind of the beautiful thing of. That's one of the most beautiful things of recovery is the ability for all of us to be able to relate to each other at least one fucking thing. You can sit across from me in your stupid ass Trump 2024 shirt, and I could be like, you fucking dick. But I also know that you, just like me, are willing to fucking step over our mother to get a drink when the time was right. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that. I know we both have been there. So like, I have empathy for you. You should just change your stupid shirt. But other than that, you know what I mean? Like, I do have this empathy, and I would hate to illustrate that as like the worst thing in the world. But that's the thing I disagree with most at this point, other than like horrible shit. You know what I mean? Socially, that's the one thing I really have an issue with. But I'm still willing to sit down. Not even willing. I fucking love you for being another drunk because you know my shit. Like, we know each other's shit. So you can be a total fucking dick and say some wild shit, and I'm like, but I know you though, dude. Because I've looked at you in the mirror, bro.
I've had Sunday morning conversations with people I barely know, and I'm like, "How you doing?" They're like, "Well, I think we went to the judge, and I'm gonna be able to see my kids again."
Right,
like,
and that shit like touches your heart a little bit though, because you're like, damn, you were a piece of shit, but now you don't want to be a piece of shit anymore. Just like I was a piece of shit, and I don't want to be a piece of shit anymore. So we got that in common too. So it's double. And I don't want to be shitty anymore, and I used to be really shitty.
So
because I was compelled. It was my fault, but it also wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. That's the thing. I think when people think that alcoholism they say it's a choice. It's like you're not being responsible for it. You're taking the responsibility and hefting it onto this mental health thing and this predisposition. And I can agree and not agree, right? Because you are responsible for your mental illness. Like, it's not your fault that you're mentally ill, but you're absolutely responsible to take care of your own mental illness. That's on you. Like, you're born with it. Sorry, this is just how it is now, you know? But I also don't want to put the responsibility of my actions on the fact that I'm an alcoholic. I don't want to be like, yeah, I was really shitty to you because I'm a drunk. No, I was shitty to you because I was drunk, but also I was a shitty person. I need to own that and not be shitty to you anymore, you know? I said the word shit so many times in this podcast.
You did. I want to give you one more quote.
Too hot for TV, Johnny. Too hot for TV.
I'll read you the passage and then the highlighted part. So the focal point for astronomy was Earth, thought with certainty to be the center of everything until Copernicus. Since then, we've realized not only that the Earth is a mere speck in the cosmos, but that there is no center, only a beginning in the cosmic explosion that is still unfolding under and around our feet. In short, now is the time for us to recognize, highlighted, that our brains are not the source of who we are or the path to who we might become. This is where I think she's in a little AA spirituality
thing. Yeah.
Because it's true. And at least for me, I have found when we talk about consciousness, right? I've said this before. I try to imagine it up here. I'm up here and I'm kind of watching myself like a video game, right? You know,
we've talked about this. Yeah. Because I'm back here. Remember, I was telling you I'm back here. You're up here. Anyway,
I'm up here. So we just have different. I just hit the little the pad on the controller to change the perspective. Right.
Playing some Red Dead, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So there's this consciousness, and I go, okay, my brain is doing this, and it helps me to, like, if I'm thinking a thought, who's listening to that thought, right? So okay, so this thing is listening to that thought, and then do I have to listen to that thought? Do I have to give into it? Should I remove it? How should I think about the thought? You know, again, there's overthinking, but the fact that the source of who we are or the path to who we might become is not in our brains, and it's a bigger, deeper thing that is. It's a lot to process, and that's a lot to explain here with you. I hope that it's bigger. I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe we're just simple, stupid people who less than a potato, and we're just trying to.
Oh yeah, we absolutely are. We just tend to think about how stupid we are. That's the unique thing. Is As far as we know so far, a potato doesn't think about itself. It might, though. We just maybe on a different level that we can even perceive, right? I mean, woo, get philosophical about the higher power. So you think that was her alluding to some type of consciousness, higher power kind of thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think that there's, you know, and she makes a few other allusions. And even if she's not in the program, it's fine. I thought an excellent book if you're interested in the, I don't want to say dry, but yes, there are parts that are dry.
Dry is the wrong word. It was just fucking boring and interesting at the same time. That was my problem, is it was boring and interesting. She would start to get me with this GABA hydroxylamine 9 receptor that gets flooded through the fucking Erie Canal or some shit. And I'm like starting to drift off and getting mad at you. And then she says something interesting and she's piqued my interest again. I'm like, fucking John, like, mwah, chef's kiss. This is good. But also,
back and forth.
Because every time I was tempted to text you and be mad about this book, she would say something interesting immediately. And I'm like, you fucking genius, Judith. What the fuck, Judith? Yeah.
And then I have it written back here. Recovery is a process of expansion, not restriction.
Damn. That's fucking fabulous, actually. And that's one of her quotes too.
Yeah, that's why I wrote it on the whiteboard so I wouldn't.
And it is expansion. We're not trying to sell it to you people here. It's just my experience. That definitely sums up my experience.
Well,
expands everything.
Restriction doesn't work. Prohibition doesn't work.
No.
It has to be a choice. I can't go around going, I'm not allowed to drink.
No, which I used to do in the beginning, and it made me miserable.
Right.
Made me absolutely miserable.
And so I'm trying to find that too with food, right? So it's about changing the perspective of how I look at all this shit. But
you got to just apply this shit to that.
I want to expand my life. I'm not looking to restrict it. And it's like, okay, I can drink, but I know the results that will come from me drinking one drink. So I don't want those results. I have other things that I'm working on. I have other results that I want.
Yes.
So I have to make the choice to say no, thank you, so that I can move toward the expansion rather than back into the fucking hole.
Yeah.
And so that was my favorite quote, I think, is that recovery is a process of expansion, not restriction.
Right.
Like,
it's like you're planting that seed, dude. Planting that bird seed, the chicken seed, planting it with your dick. Just
what?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. I don't know why that came out like that. But it's like you're planting a seed. You're planting a seed, you're expanding, you know. That's a horrible analogy for it. But I really think like abstinence from alcohol is not restricting. Technically, you
have the choice.
But you have a choice, yeah.
You have the choice right now.
Yeah.
There will be consequences for your choices. There will be results that do not jibe with your current trajectory that you're focused on, right?
Yep.
But you have the choice. And if it works for you, fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
I think I can speak for Jerry and myself on this one, in that abstinence from alcohol is the choice that both of us have to make.
At least daily abstinence is working for me. Do you know what I mean?
Boom. Look at you.
Daily abstinence. That's
maybe somewhere down the road, but just for today.
Maybe somewhere down the road, I'm like, you know, I really feel like fucking all my shit up. Let's go down to Circle K and get some cactus coolers or whatever they're making now. They have like seltzers here with cactus in it, I guess. I don't know.
Oh wow, really? What's a cactus called again? The Nepal, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Nepal coolers.
It's called ranch water. That's what my brother-in-law works for a beer distribution company, so he brings home different seltzers, and they were drinking one the other night called cactus ranch water. Coolers. No, it wasn't a cactus coolers. It's called ranch water, but it was enhanced with like cucumber and nopal. And I was like, all that is just like drinking dirt and roots, huh? Some booze in it, like throw a little malt liquor on top of some dirt and roots, and let's go.
I was making coffees for the kitchen, and Diego works in the kitchen, and he and I talk, and we've gone running before, back when you could go running with people. We'll probably do it again soon. But So I'll make them a coffee, and I make them special for the guys in the kitchen. So I get a little of like vanilla flavoring, and I put cinnamon in it and stuff like that.
You're a nice guy.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I mean,
that's how I make coffee for my wife. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he asked me, he says, "Man, you ever been to Mexico?" And I said, "No." I said, "I've been to Nogales." He's like, "Really?" And so he kind of knew where Nogales was, and I said, "Yeah, I was down there with my buddy Jerry for his wedding." And I said, "I wanted to go to Mexico." He's like, "I'm not fucking taking you. It's really like," apparently at that point there was some serious shit going down there, and it was just really, it was dark and kind of depressing, and there was some violence going on, and you were just like, I'm not going over there. I'm not taking you there. And he kind of said, "Yeah, that sounds about right." But then he started calling him. He's like, "Dude, those Nogales shooters you made us were great. Those coffees." So that's what he just calling them, the Nogales shooters.
Yeah.
Apropos,
which is just now is just a Michelob Ultra and a shot of that's what everybody's drinking down here now. Apparently, I'm like learning booze stuff without giving a shit about booze stuff. But yeah,
I have to sit through wine tastings all the time.
Michelob Ultra and a fucking shot of Buchanan Scotch. Ew, and ew. All of it, buddy. All of it. My Nogales shooter is like 2 eggs with some salsa on it. Shooting some
So I think I would highly suggest this book to anybody who's interested. For me, understanding how my brain works around addiction helps me to curb the feelings and the cravings, and to have a better picture of it. Then I don't feel like it's this amorphous blob that's come to take over my brain.
Yeah.
I can go, "Oh, that's what that is. Excellent. All right, it's happening now. Let's focus on something else." So go get. Well, I mean, you can do what you want, but
do what you want. You know what? I give it a good rating too. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It gave me a lot of insight into how my brain is stupid, but I'm also a genius. You are. But I enjoyed it. I really did. I also found it really boring at the same time. I don't know. It's definitely like an acquired thing. Like, it's very informative and really technical, but there's so many aspects to it that keep you, if you're a casual listener, will keep you pulled in. Do you know what I mean? It'll keep you engaged. That's a problem. Once things get really technical, I tend to get disengaged if I'm not familiar with it.
Right.
I'm like, what? Yeah.
Well, and it's easy because I'm like, what, Mesolimpic? What? Huh? Slow down. Let me go back. Right. And now I got to look that up.
And you were reading it. That's the difference. I was listening to it, and she reads it herself. And her way of speaking is it was very lulling. She has a very calm, not monotone, but actually she reads really monotone, and her voice is really soft. And I like start getting lulled into like this, which is feeling drowsy. And then she would be like, "And then I bought crack from a one-armed fucking Dominican dude." And I'm like, "Oh, word?"
Yeah. I read it, and then I listened to it as well. And then I listened to it at 1.3 speed. So
did that help?
Book. It did. I mean, for me, since I was already somewhat familiar with it. I don't
like speeding them up because it sounds silly to me.
Well, 1.2 or 1.3 is not too bad if you're trying to get through something, if there's a deadline.
Good to know. I'm going to do that next time. You recommend one of these fucking books? No fucking ghosts, no cartel drug wars. What the fuck, man?
We'll do one. I think that might have to be next. We'll do something with a little more action.
Yeah.
A little less conversation, a little more action.
Right.
Elvis Presley, speaking of opiate addiction.
Yeah. What do you do? First of all, I know you're going to get into this part, but the end part, but what are you doing in your car? Why are you lip syncing along to fucking is that
set and fucking
walking in Memphis or something? I was like, why are you lip syncing? You're not even. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
I was just fucking around. I was driving to work. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll go on Spotify and I'll find like 90s greatest hits or one hit wonders or something. And I don't even listen to the whole song. I just like to kind of laugh to myself.
Right.
So it'll be like, what was that song? Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Yes.
Or like Better Than Ezra. Or any of these like really just corny ass, like overly dramatic 90s one-hit wonders.
You were like feeling it though. You were singing it with Combrio, dude. Combrio. Like you were like, it just means like with fucking emphasis. But you were like in your car and you weren't even using the TikTok track. You were just lip syncing along to the radio. So I was like, what the fuck is happening here? I was just my fucking around. Was like, what are you doing?
So I'll just shuffle it, and like sometimes it'll be trash, and I was like, I'm just gonna record one real quick here, because I'm just bored because that's what I do now.
If you're all listening, you guys should follow John on TikTok. It's like the strangest fucking thing in the world to me. Because I know him really well, and it's like push-ups, lip syncs, like really weird, creepy pervert jokes that are like dad jokes, but they just come off kind of weird. Like to me personally, like not everybody else. Everybody else is probably like that. John, he's like friendly. You're like, hey, I'm your recovery dad. You know,
right? But you've got
whereas I see it, I'm
this
like
fucking 20 years of baggage. You're like, I knew you when you were gross as fuck.
What do you mean this tissue has a little boogie in it? You gross motherfucker. What are you talking about? No, I'm not getting in your van.
But it's I find it.
I love you expressing yourself though.
Well, here's. It's just I'm just entertaining myself. I just get fucking bored, and I think that's what a lot of people have over this last year. And so it's like, why not just throw something out there and see what sticks? I have no idea.
It's better than me, dude. I sit in my garage, paint, and build resentments. So that's how I pass the time. So
piece by piece, brick by brick, and nail by nail.
Brick, yeah. And I blow up on people and I don't even know it.
Well, try to let some of that go today, Jerry.
I'm going to, dude.
It's just your brain.
It's just my brain on drugs, according to Judith Grisel.
Right. She talks about that too. What a bullshit analogy that is.
All that shit was bullshit. We could do a whole podcast on that shit.
And just say no. All right. I think that's the end. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you want a shirt, show notes, cut the shit, do the work.
Get a shirt. Cut the shit, do the work, get the shirt. Then you too can be like, I call it the gun club, because if you fuck with me, I'm gonna sell these to you illegally in the parking lot. And then I pointed to my arms.
There you go.
Thanks again for listening. Our music, as always, is by Neglect. You can find more of his stuff at neglect.bandcamp.com.
And you can find us on all social media platforms that matter: Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can reach us at aisforalcoholic@gmail.com.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.